Wait, I kind of just did the thing.
No worries,
Oh,
you're
my
good,
God.
bro. Don't worry about it. That's the beauty about editing, right?
No, yeah.
They know none of this happened.
But you were asking me about my school. So yeah, right now, obviously it's my senior year.
Is this six? Is this six in a row?
Yeah.
6. You should know. You're in school. This is horrible. You don't know, bro. 6 in a row.
You know what's funny? I'm friends with like the whole football team.
And you still don't know. It's horrible, bro. It's horrible.
One of my best friends, Logan Husband.
Yes.
He used to be my co-host.
Yes, I know him. Yeah.
He was like, he sometimes gets mad at me. He's like, "How do you not know my game schedule?"
Yeah, but that's crazy, bro.
But like the thing is like, at St. Thomas,
Yeah.
you know where we came from, is like, they win so much.
You just forget. It's
Like
just a
you don't
normal
even
thing.
go to the like. I'm not even like, they don't even go to the games unless it's like an important or a good game. Like everyone's at the ESPN game, but no one's at like the regular season games.
Bro, I'll be honest, bro. I never went to one game. Like I'm a horrible writer. Like, I went to States, and that was the only game that I went to. The last States, my senior year against Homestead. That was the only game that I went to, in the Miami International Stadium. So I'm horrible. I can't even say anything. Yeah. But
I mean, and they posted too. Like I just don't know. You know Jay Wimbrow?
Who?
Jay Wimbrow. He's the camera guy.
Yes, the camera guy. Yes. Why?
He's a really funny guy. He posts like everything for them, and like, I'm telling you, like no one knows. Now, what's funny is I used to play basketball. I played varsity St. Thomas. I don't play anymore. I feel like we had more people come to our games than the football players.
That's a bold take, bro. I don't know about all that.
No,
I'm gonna
like at least consistency, because because like again, football team would always win. So like they'd go, everyone and their mom in Florida would go to like the first ESPN game.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the season, no one would really go unless again they played like some competition.
I mean, that could also be. I mean, there's multiple different ways you could look at it. I mean, we don't want to get too technical about it. We don't want to make it a boring thing. But I mean, you could say that people get bored when you know what the outcome's going to be. It's like if you have an undefeated football team, which will never happen because, you know, the NFL's rigged, so you can't. No, it's not rigged. But, you know, you can't. If you expect the result to happen, if you expect, you know what the outcome's going to be, obviously you're not going to go to it. Maybe that's my version of it, but I really don't know because I never went. So
and I'm not going to lie. Our basketball team this season, I don't know if you heard, we have a new 5-star recruit on our team.
That's fire.
I don't know, it is the first 5-star we ever had, but we are playing like a lot of very good teams. Okay. You know, tomorrow we actually play Gibbons.
Fire.
At St. Thomas.
Fire.
Yeah, so that's like a big game. But I actually like want to like talk to you more about like obviously like how you started with your podcast and stuff, like what exactly you did, why you started it, because like there's not a lot of, you know, I feel like younger people like us and like starting in high school. Yeah.
No, for sure. I think we spoke off camera about it, but I 100% think the demographic, somewhere the statistic is like, you know, I said 75% of people after 2022 stop, but I would say 99% of the podcasters are over 30 years old. So we're definitely not the typical, but starting off, like I said, I stopped playing football sophomore year, and I realized, like, bro, like, I want to put my time and energy into something else, learned about capital management, boom. And then senior year, I was like, I want to learn from these different CEOs, leaders amongst every industry. I want to see what makes a James Madison, a Conrad Hussey, a King Mac, and a Warren Buffett. Like, it's very far out, but I want to see what's a commonality between their mindsets, their come up. What does that look like? Dr. Aloma, like, I had her on my podcast. Like,
really?
Yeah, I have it private because it's so bad. But, Roger Harry, like I had all the people there at St. Thomas because that's what I had in front of me. Yeah. But I wanted to see what was a commonality between the vast majority of all these leaders amongst every industry. Now, time progressed, and by God's wisdom and grace, I realized that that's way too broad, but that's where I started. Yeah.
That's great. I mean, like I, as well, like when basketball was like my life, like day in, day out. I really didn't care about school. Okay. Like at all. Like I'm telling you, like I'd go home and I wouldn't even do like some homework assignments. Yeah. I would all B's, all regular classes. Then obviously like my mom gave me the talk.
All moms, right?
Yeah. Junior year, I was on varsity, wasn't really getting a lot of minutes, and I had like that same like kind of moment for me. I was like, I need to like find something that I have like a shot at, because I like obviously I'm willing, I have the heart to do it, but like, some of us are just.
Was there any fear of you like quitting basketball?
I'm gonna be honest. Like I literally cried that night when I had to make the decision.
But what was the emotion that you would look like a quitter to other people? Was the emotion?
Yes, that was also like another thing that was in my head. I was like,
because I felt, bro, I know what you're saying.
Everyone's gonna look at me like I gave up. I just quit, but no one really knows like the whole story. Like I went every single day, first one there, last one to leave. Like I worked out after practice, before practice. Like I put like my all into like trying to like play and like get minutes that I thought I deserved. But at the end of the day, some of us just aren't. I guess you said not blessed with that talent, but like I don't know what to say. Like it's hard like to say because again like I hate that word quitting.
It's not so. There was a quote by Steve Jobs that says you can only connect the dots looking backwards. So only way that things make sense. But I swear to you, I'll never forget this. It was junior year. I had an argument with my dad because I told him that I want to do the podcast. I want to go all in. Maybe end of junior year when I had the idea. It's like, hey, I want to do this. I'm doing this. But I was already playing football. And I had secretly already quit. Like I had already quit behind his back.
Yeah.
Quit. But I was just faking as if I was going to practice. And then one day things got heated, whatever, boom, boom, boom. Talked to each other in the car, dropped me off. I'll never forget, it was a weighted practice. And I came in the gym. I was crying. I was so embarrassed, bro. In that sweaty room of the gym. I was crying, came in crying. And I went to Roger. I was like, Roger, bro, I can't. Like, I know this isn't what. And he's the only one that knows this. I've never said this. He's the only one that knows this and experienced it with me. And I said, bro, I can't do this. Like, I cannot do this. My father's telling me this, but in my gut, like, deep down in my heart, I cannot do this. And bro, I'll never forget, he told me, he was like, bro, like, so then just do what you want to do. Like, it was so stupid and so simple. It was so, like, simple to understand, but that of just do what you feel like you want to do. Because you can only connect the dots looking backwards. And the things that may seem as a failure now, the things that people may look at you right now and say, oh, you quit, you put this much time into it. How could you do that, bro? Oh, so you're just, like, they could say that now.
Yeah.
But then come back to me in 5 years, see where the conversation is. Like you can only literally connect the dots looking backwards. And I think, bro, there is no failure. And I don't think that was a failure.
My dad told me it's not quitting. It's just choosing a different path.
I think so too.
And like, honestly, like I don't, like here and there, like maybe I'm like, man, like I wish I could like go. Cause I'm still friends with all the guys. Yeah. The Coach Sandy's still my guy. Yeah, like I'm really like I'm honestly like thankful to my parents just like for just pushing me a little bit to like take that step, because the podcast thing honestly, it didn't like just pop in my head. It was like I want to say a month later after I'd like stopped playing basketball. I was like, I need to do something with like my life. Like I need to find something, because like again, basketball was like my all. It was like my baby. And when I left that, I was kind of lost in a sense. Obviously, like I put my head in the books more. I really studied more, and then I was like, I think I found a passion, because like again, I already blew up on TikTok. I had done some deals with like other companies, like Be Real, and some other like lower end companies, like selling their products, and I was like, I like marketing, like social media, like I wanted like discussion, like interaction. I love that, and I'll never forget. I brought the idea to my parents, and they're like, this is a great idea. I'm like, let's do it. Like, I'll be all in. They were like, you have to be all in, because like if we're gonna
100%, that's the only way to do it. If you're gonna go all in, don't do anything if you're not gonna go all in.
Exactly. And like them knowing that like they're gonna be investing in this, because obviously like, everything in my life it's been invested from my parents. Like it's like I'm so thankful. It's a blessing. But I was like, I'm gonna do this with everything, because I'm not gonna do it if just gonna be like for a little bit, like for fun. I'm not gonna do just one episode and then dip.
There was big on quotes. I remember a lot of quotes. I've been living more now, because it's often the most cliche things that end up being the most true. And you only realize as you grow up and you do your things and you take risky moves and you make this, you realize the power of quotes. But there's this quote that literally is exactly about what you had going on. It's sometimes on a way to a dream, you get lost and find a bigger one. Bro. And I promise you, God will show you your dream. God will show you what the outcome will look like. But you have no idea what the steps look like. You have no idea what the next 2 months look like. You have no idea how you're going to fund this, how you're going to get the next guest, you have no idea. But that's where your faith comes into play. But as long as you believe in the one who gave you the dream, as long as you believe in the one that placed that little seed in your mind, in your heart, that's all you need, bro. And the rest will just come. But that's what I'm hearing is what your story is, bro, which is, you know, there's a lot of pressure, especially from parents and
even friends too. Like a lot of my friends.
Yeah, bro. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you, as someone that's only 1 year ahead of you, I'm 19. Like, I'm not that much older than you.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I thought you were like at least 20.
No. Like, I'm not that much older than you, bro. Like, I'm telling you, as someone that, like, I would say I've lived a lot of life in a short amount of time. But as someone that literally has came from your exact position, bro, none of that matters, bro. There's not one person that I talked to from high school. That's because I'm doing my own thing, bro. You check up on them, but that's because I'm doing my own thing. But, bro, like, it really does not matter. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to live with your own decisions. And I'd rather live with the decision that, bro, I give this my all. I gave football my all. I gave studies my all. I gave all. But it's not for me. But I gave it my all, so I know it's not for me. But if I find the next thing, I'm going to give it my all. I'd rather live with that than the thought of, damn, but I have to do this and I have to get into this school and I have to do this to please this person. But, man, I really want to do the podcast. What would the podcast look like? I'd rather live that way than living, you know, fear of what others will think of me.
I'm not one to really, like, I guess, like, maybe it came off like I don't really care. I really don't. Like, people will come up to me, they're like, I don't care what people think about me. Obviously, like, I'll say what I want to say, do what I want to do. Mm-hmm. But there are moments like that where I'll be like, what if I didn't? Like, would these people, like, see me differently? And obviously, when I first started this podcast, I didn't have, like, the greatest feedback in the world. You know, going to school the next day, and they're like, why would you even do this?
Bro, same thing. Bro, it was the same exact thing for me.
And I was like, they say that now. And then it's funny, the same people that were like first episode, next day at school, I literally had, like, at least, I want to say 10 people be like, what are you doing, bro? Like, why would you start a podcast? Like, this is not gonna do anything for you. And I think, like, 4 episodes later, those same people were asking me to be on the podcast. I'm not even kidding. The same exact people.
That's how it is. So this is exactly how it is.
Yeah.
People judge based off what they could see. That's how it is for the rest of time. Whether you want to talk about business, stocks, you know, personal brand, people judge what they can see. And when they see you starting, there's nothing to believe in. There's no views. There's nothing.
Yeah.
But you, in your heart, know, bro, you don't even know I'm doing this. You don't even know where I see this going. You don't even know who I have on my
what I'm doing list to get this to be. No.
You don't know. But I guarantee you one thing, bro. When it all happens and you can see, it will be already too late.
Yeah.
Because then everybody will see.
Yeah.
But it's only those that actually believed in you when there was nothing to believe in that matter. But other than that, bro, the opinions of others is quite literally the least of importance.
Yeah. I want to touch on the faith thing real quick because a lot of people already, like, people that know me, I just came back from a retreat.
Fire.
You know, a spiritual retreat to, like, you know, reconnect with my faith.
Love that, bro.
Because I honestly, like, this is all in the matter of, like, really, like, a short, like, this happened last year, but ever since last year, like, in a short time span, like, this has happened, like, where I lost, you know, sight of my faith, you know, Jesus. Like, I used to read the Bible every single day before practice. Like, I had, like, a routine, but once I quit, I was like, I really, like, lost all sight of, you know, the biggest thing in my life, and that's just, you know, Jesus Christ.
100%.
So obviously I went on this retreat. I also, it wasn't just because of that. I did mess up. I messed up. I'm not gonna say on camera what I did, but I did mess up. And I had a little reflection moment in my life where I was like, I need to find God again. Because the way I'm headed, at that point in time, the way I was headed was, like, not a good path. And after, I will say, like, just the day started out, I'm gonna tell you how the retreat went. 5:30 in the morning every day. We got up, read the Bible. We had, like, cabins, and we'd go in, like, this room together. We'd read the Bible, And then we'd discuss it. We'd pray together. It was beautiful. Take a nap, have breakfast. First day, I was like, man, this is like, I was not open-minded about anything. Very closed, very tunnel vision. Wasn't really like willing to like experience a lot of things. Went to like the first mass. Okay. Different pastor. We had 2 masses each day. Different pastor each time. We had little activities too, but it was after every breakfast, lunch, dinner, we had mass or like a workshop. And I'm literally like, after that day, I was like, I wasn't open-minded. If my parents were here, they'd be disappointed with me, you know? Because again, I was like saying like, to me also like, you know, being a good son.
100%. It's biblical to be a good son.
You know what I mean? Like I want to be like the best son I can to my parents. And just then I was like, I need to do better. So the next day I was like, I did everything. I sang, I jumped, I danced, I did the whole 9 yards. Like I did everything. Yeah. And I kid you not, that very day, it was like an experience like I'll never take for granted. This guy came and he started talking about his grandma. And his whole story was about being grateful and, you know, loving things that are there before they're gone type thing. So he talked about how his grandma had raised him because his parents had left. And he, when he got older, he wanted to move to America and, you know, start a new life. But before he had left, he had said something like terrible to his grandmother, like very like terrible. And he left. A couple years later, he's in you know, the United States working, and all of a sudden he gets a phone call. And it's his tia saying, Abuela is sick. And obviously like the first time I said, like, I need to get there. He didn't have the money to go. A few days later, phone rings, and the news is his grandmother passed away. And I remember like in that moment, because in my life, my grandmother, she took a big role in my life as well, like helping raise me early in the beginning. You know, we all lived with my grandma. And recently, again, like you'll see where I'm getting with this. Like recently, she had felt like that us, like her own children, like my aunts and my mother and like her grandchildren weren't really giving her a lot of love because we were all growing up, you know, focusing on our own things, not giving her like a lot of attention. So she like felt separated. She like, expressed this to me, but I didn't really like pay attention. And the pastor, after he told that story, he made us write like almost like a letter to that person. And I remember just writing that letter and breaking down, like crying. And because like I knew that I lost sight of like how grateful I am to have my grandmother still with me and still take care of me. And like I didn't want to ever be in that situation where like I could have done this. I could have like gave her more attention. I could have spoke to her more. Finally, we go to this campfire. In the workshop before, we had written our sins that we deal with. Pastor's praying. He's burning each chain. It was a resemblance of chains with those sins that have like a chain on us. And I remember he was like, does anyone want to say anything? And I tell you, it was like 30 degrees, bro. I did not want to get up. I was cold. I did not want to go speak. And finally, this child comes up and he starts talking about seeing, you know, pornographic images. And I was like, oh my God, like I gotta say something. And I'm kidding you not, I'm telling you, no one was behind me. I literally felt someone like push me to get up and speak. Like I'm not even kidding, like as if like an energy was like telling me like I need to go speak, like pulling me out of my seat. I get up, I run, I literally run there. And I'm like, I need to tell you guys this. And I don't know if it was like, you know, the Holy Spirit have his hands on me, but I was like, whatever mistakes we've made, you know, as long as we keep sight that Jesus was always there. He was always there, like through the times of fear, through the times of shame, through the times of like confusion, anxiety, stress, depression. He was always there. All the mistakes I made, you know, not loving my grandma, not showing the attention that I should have, all those times, you know, falling into lust, falling into self-pleasure. He was always there. There's no need to feel ashamed. There's no need to, because it's funny, like I had, like when I lost sight, this mainly because also I almost felt like not worthy of like asking for forgiveness at that point. Because every time I'd be like, man, he's going to forgive me anyways. Like, I'm just keep doing what I'm doing. Like, why even ask him for forgiveness? And in that moment, I was like, he's not only speaking to me, but to these people. Like, not only speaking to these people, but to me, like, I can still ask forgiveness as long as I have that relationship with him. Like, I can get through anything in my life, anything. I can love, I can do everything in my power as long as I have him with me. I can get through any storm, any challenges with him.
100%.
And the following day, the next activity, we had the pastor speaking. Some things happen, and again, little personal things, but I start breaking down again. And I kid you not, this kid comes up to me after like praying for me because I had been crying for so long. He says, "You had always been a good son." That God told him to tell me that, and I was like, damn. So all the things that had been happening to me before that had been answered at this camp. And I guess what I'm trying to get at is like, what we were talking about before, like, you know, caring what other people think, you know, not like having that fear of like, oh, like, what would this person think of me? What would happen if I don't do this, if I don't do that? Like, just having that moment of like reflection, just like spiritual like acceptance. I was like, wow. Like, he had always been there even when I turned my back on him. You know what I mean?
100%.
So I don't know, it got really deep for me just
no,
now.
No,
but I'm like, I was like, it was just a big moment for me, I guess. And now I'm focused on University of Miami. My grades are like better than ever.
Fire.
You know, obviously I know I'm gonna miss this a lot, high school. I'm already like thinking about it. People tell me like to shut up whenever I start talking about it, like, bro, we're gonna go to college soon. Like, we're about to be like out of here. And even with you, like, I remember watching your videos like literally last year.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, like, low key inspired me. Like the idea came, but like I wouldn't have thought about it if I hadn't seen one of your videos.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Bro, I think on your point, our feeling of what we've done wrong doesn't matter to Christ because he doesn't move based off feelings. He's outside of time. So he sees you in a way that we can't even comprehend. So us feeling shameful right now, us feeling remorseful, us feeling, damn, why did I do this? I said I wouldn't do it again, God, but I did it. He doesn't care about that. All he cares about is your heart. All he cares about is you continuously coming to him. The Bible says a righteous man is the one who falls down 7 times but gets up 8. And that's all that he cares about. He just wants you and your heart. And there's something that Paul said where he said, I know the things I should be doing, but I don't do them. I know the things I should be doing, yet I do the things that I don't want to do. I don't want to do what's wrong for me, and I end up doing it. And he kept going on a tangent, but he said, but, and I'm quoting it, you probably misquoted a little bit, but it's the essence of it.
No, yeah.
And he says, and the ending thought was, but my faith is strong, for I am in Christ. And I think, that summarizes what you just said, that, bro, at the end of the day, we're all going to go, and you're going to go through a million other trials. You're going to go through a million other times where you feel remorseful and a million other times where you sin, bro. It's inevitable. You're not going to not sin. Because if you don't sin, then you don't need Jesus. So it's kind of a blessing to have sin because that sin makes you realize, damn, I really need Christ. Now, he calls for repentance, but if you didn't have sin, then you think you would be your own God and say, wow, why would I need Christ? I don't do this. I don't watch porn. I don't, kill people. I don't steal. I'm a good person. So to an extent, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll learn with time, and maybe I'll learn interviewing different, religious figures. But I think having sin, allows us to realize that, hey, we still need Christ in our life.
I've never looked at it like that. Hearing that word, like that sin's a blessing. I've never heard of that. And that's like a great way to look at it. Like, because like what you just said just now, like if we were perfect, what would be the point of God's existence?
Literally. I mean,
for us, at least.
That wasn't that the point of Christ, that he paid a death that we could never do. He paid a price that we could never pay. And in that, there is no footnotes of, hey, he paid for everything, but, if you fall into porn and you do that multiple different times, yeah, he doesn't forgive that one. Hey, like he forgives all of them, but if you do, that was never, he said he paid it in full. And so paying it in full, you have to understand as humans, as people that are living in a timeline where it's it's lateral. It's, you know, we're focused on time. We go ahead. Like God is outside of time, so He sees it in a way, like I said, that we can't comprehend. And understanding that, you have to understand that He already knows every single sin that you're going to commit. And if He knew every single sin that you were going to commit, then why did He die on that cross? You think He didn't know everything that you're going to commit before He died on that cross? No, He died on that cross knowing everything that you and me were going to do. And I think that's our hope. Our hope shouldn't be in, damn, I fell into this. Now it's my job to get it back out.
Yeah.
Now it's my job to fall back out of porn. Now it's my job to fall back out. Then that defeats the point of Christ. The point of Christ is that He knew you were going to do that and wants you to turn to Him. If that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense, because I had that same revelation like a few weeks ago.
Trust me, we're all going through it. Speaking from experience.
No, but having that way of thinking has also really helped me with like my process of like trying to figure out like new ideas. Like I even like pray now, like, God, like what should I do? Like, what
Bro,
new
pray
ideas?
about everything, bro.
I literally every single.
You know
thing.
what's the most underrated thing? I swear to you, I don't know why. It's a good point. The most underrated thing is people think that, bro, it's crazy to think about, because it literally just dawned on me a couple months ago that people think that you only pray to God when it's, you know, stuff that, you know, big stuff in life.
Yeah.
Oh, can you help me with my relationship with my mom? Can you help me with my finances? Can you help me with it? Brother, God is in every, like, He sees us making this podcast right now.
Exactly.
And I feel like if you incorporate Him into more of what you do,
Yeah.
He will then incorporate His blessings into more of what you do.
Yes.
And it wasn't until I realized that everything really started to change. When I started to say, God, this Chipotle bowl that I'm about to get, thank you for this. Let me say thank you to this register, the person that's checking me out of the register.
Yeah.
Lord, this podcast, I mean, why have I never prayed for you to help me to get the next guest?
Yes.
Why have I been relying? Like those little things, and it's for whatever else is, you know, whoever's watching and their heart and their mind too, like, pray about it, bro. Like, that's such an underrated thing, but just pray about it.
It's also like a way of like figuring things out, in my opinion. Like prayer is like for me like a type of also meditation.
Yeah,
Like a space where you can just like clear your mind. Like, obviously like, you're speaking to God, but at that point like you can like really think about it. Like, for example, I was literally praying like for what was it like what book to get, because I want to get into like,
bro, that's fire.
I'm trying to learn like marketing, like investments and stocks, like just reading books.
Positioning, that's a good book you should read.
Positioning?
Yes, it's a red book.
I got this book called Market 6.0.
Never heard about that.
Apparently it's like one of the
Really
best
good?
marketing books.
Yeah.
It's the most up to date. Talks about AI, all the new technologies that you should be using.
Bro, so typically, just side note, there's a rule that I heard from, I think it was Patrick Bet-David. You know who he is, right?
Patrick who?
Bet-David. Valuetainment, he's a huge media
If
mogul.
I saw a picture of him.
Yeah, huge media mogul. And he talks about something that he'll only get books if they have over 500 reviews minimum. But nowadays he'll get something with 1,000 reviews.
Is this the guy that you called before your FIU convention?
Yes, that he did the cameo.
Yes,
Patrick Bet-David.
Yes, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes,
he said that he only read a book if it has 1,000 reviews and 500 5-stars, like something like that, just because he'll know it's validated by the market, and in turn, it was worth his time. Because you don't also want to read a book just to say that you read it. Yeah. You want to read something because it's valuable. You want to extract that value from it. So just side note, because that's something that I've kind of practiced. Because bro, I've read a lot, and there's some books that I'm like, bro, I just wasted my time just to say that I read it. So if a book in like 10 pages, 5 pages does not like caught my attention, bro, I'll just put it down and just won't read it. Yeah, bro.
It's because I used to think like that as well, but my dad was like, you gotta read the whole thing, because like sometimes you don't know, like until you get to like the middle.
Yes and no. So that's true, bro. I'm not gonna discredit that because it's 100% true. Like I said, I'm only speaking from my experience.
No, yeah. I'm just saying.
I've done that twice with a book where I'll read it the whole way through.
And you're like, why did I read the whole
thing? And I knew from the beginning because I was bored. But the books that call my attention that I'm hooked to, I'm hooked to.
Yeah.
Like, you know what that you really like? The Third Door.
Wait, what was the other book, by the way?
Positioning.
Yes. And this is
the third door. That book you will absolutely. I read it in one day. It's 400 pages. One day because of how valuable it is. It was about 18-year-old guy. Now he's like 35. He was on a mission at 18 years old to interview Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and I think it was Diddy at the time. Yeah, it was bad. I think so. I could be wrong. It was Steven Spielberg, the director, a bunch of different people. But the top of every industry, and he did it at 19. I was like, what the like, how did you do that? And he described it, and he went through it. I was like, the email format that he used, how many times he had to follow up. I was like, bro, this is literal gold in my hands.
That was another thing I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
How did you get like some of these big names how'd you get in contact with them? Like even like Patrick. Like how?
A bunch of different stuff, bro. Just different for every person. I would say that it's just me finding a way to leverage the fact that I'm young and that I'm doing what I'm doing, the guests that I've had on, but also finding things that will touch them emotionally. Meaning, for some people, maybe I find whatever their hobby is, or maybe I find out something that excites them, or maybe I find out something and kind of correlate a message, write a handwritten letter, do what I have to do, whatever, just so that they see and their first impression is, okay, who is this guy? Like I have, I'm going to Texas next month for, I think by far the biggest interview that I've done, and then Washington a week before with two of the biggest people that I've ever done, and I both got them doing that, writing a handwritten letter and giving them something personalized to them, and then just constantly following up. And bro, that stacked up over time. Once you get that one big person, you leverage that, get to the next big person. Once you get that big, now you leverage that. So once you get a couple, it's easier to get the next, but you always have to make sure that your first impression is one that actually, like it calls their attention. And that's just something that I try to do with every person.
Obviously, like being persistent.
It's huge, bro.
Is like
it's only key to success.
Yeah, the key to success. Did you learn like the little like finding out like what they like being like first impression from the three doors?
No. That was me from the get. It's just something I've always had from the get, bro. I've just been like, oh, let me approach that a different way. And then persistence was another big thing, bro. I went to Dr. Loma's office. I went to her office 4 times to ask for the interview. She knows it because I remember she told me after. She's like, you have a bright future. I see you're going to be going somewhere. Caught her 4 times. I think I have a couple emails with her. Like, bro, consistently just it was persistent with that. So from the get, I just been like that, to be honest. I have to go back.
That's so funny because Father Celsus?
No.
He's pretty new. He's a new father at our school.
Probably, yeah.
Him and I don't know I think he's kind of new too. Dr. Dunn, Mr. Dunn. Both of them, I've been trying to get them on the podcast for like the past week now.
And what happened?
I'm telling you, like literally, I think I've sent at least 8 emails, like 8 emails, and then
Have
3
they
times
responded?
in person. Oh yeah.
And what are they saying?
But like either like they were busy or like I was supposed to have them last week.
Okay.
He had like confessions. And he forgot, so like we had to reschedule. But I'm like still like, just emailing, like just trying to get it in.
Bro, that's perfect. So number one, you have to keep doing that because the moment that you stop doing that, they don't care. They only care once you keep popping up. And sometimes people want to say yes just so you can stop being annoying. Yeah. So keep doing it. Now, it's true, bro. Now the other thing, bro, is also you go in person. No. Yeah, he went under the camera.
That's my camera guy, Nico.
But also go in person, bro. See what they have to say in person. Like,
no, yeah, I've done that many times. Even I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know if this would ever happen where you and I would be on the podcast, but I would like, I didn't like obviously persistently like text you, but like I was anytime you texted me, I'd like all your content because like I don't know if this is coming so soon, but at some point I wanted to get in this podcast with you because I've seen that you've gone to St. Thomas, you started your podcast, like so many similarities.
Yeah, 100%.
I was honestly like shocked when you sent me like you want to do a podcast. I was like,
for sure, bro.
I was like, what? I'm not even kidding. Like literally bragged about it to everybody, all my parents. No, because this is the first time. Like this is my first ever time having another like podcast or someone that like has like some type of experience in this. And I was just like so obviously I'm grateful that you're here.
Nah, bro, I'm grateful to be here, bro. I'm telling you, like, the more that you want others to win, the more in turn that you will win. Yeah. And it's that simple, bro. Like
even talking like before the cameras are on, like just like how you started, like what you went through and all that. We touched on a little bit, but I feel like, we were like more in depth before, like, but like just like having that conversation, I was like, wow, like at least I'm not the only one. Like, bro, I was able to like relate so much.
And there's power in relatability because then it shows you it can be done.
Yeah,
bro. Like I promise you, we'll have this conversation in a year, and I'll be light years away from where I am right now.
Yeah.
10 to 100 times more followers than I have. I'll be known. People will ask for it. It's coming. I know it's coming.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Bro, there's some fulfillment about the process and understanding that you're not alone and understanding that you're not the only one that has gone through this. Even though it may seem like it, you're not.
Yeah.
And the more that you can find people that you can model after and relate, you don't have to be light years away from people that are like, damn, he got, like there's people I look up to that have 15,000 subscribers on YouTube that had a Zoom call with last week that he's interviewed George Janko, Bunking, the guy who turned his life over to Jesus. Like big people. He doesn't have a massive platform, but I told him, I was like, bro, like let me pick your brain, bro. Like, how did you do what you did?
Yeah.
Talk through it. But it's important to have those people in your life because they show you that it's actually possible. And bro, I think there's so much power in that because the moment I realized that it was possible, it put a different spark in me. And then, bro, we'll have this conversation, like I said, in a year and 2 years, bro. And then it's going to be like, oh, shit. Now it's not only it's possible, now it's I've lived it.
Yeah,
so I know it's
yeah.
like, you know, and I've lived a couple of things. I have a couple big interviews coming up. I'm doing some cool things, but
Congrats.
You'll see. Thank you. You know, and everything, bro, like I said.
Even like your friend Cam, bro. Like
yeah. He's super
I didn't
cool.
even know who he was until like the FAU video.
Bro,
and like I didn't even
cool.
Again, he told me his name and I was like, who was that?
Yeah.
And then I saw that and you said he just blew up out of nowhere.
No. This is why I say like not out of nowhere. And I'll send him this clip, bro. Cam is the most hardworking, most consistent, most persistent person that I've ever met in my life. Nonetheless, he doesn't think so because remember we had this call that he was like, bro, I just feel like I'm not consistent, whatever. Bro, be consistent. Just keep going, bro. You have it. Just keep going, bro. Because I swear to you, bro, with no results, he was going. With no likes, he was going. With not being the best at football, he was going, bro. And now he's made it to a pro football team without having to go to college. Now he's blew up on social media. Now he's making money from social media. And I promise you, bro, like he's someone that he'll be a great interview, bro, because he exemplifies just that walking by faith and not by sight 100%, bro. I'm
not going to disclose in a few weeks from now who I'm actually going to have on this. You definitely grew up watching this guy.
Okay.
Actually, no, I don't care. I'll say it.
Say it.
I don't know if it's not confirmed yet. I'm going to talk to the manager soon. You know Jeffy?
The puppet?
Yes.
The puppet? Holy crap. Yeah, that's crazy. That'll be funny. That'll be great clips, bro. That's going viral.
Jeffy, yeah.
Like interviewing the puppet?
Well, the guy.
Like, okay.
But
but that'll be fire if he brings a puppet.
Yes.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually.
It's funny.
I didn't grow up, you know, the funny story.
You didn't grow up watching him?
No. Funny story. 7th grade. And Mr. Garcia, science teacher, he comes in and he's like, guys, oh, you guys heard of Jeffy before? I was like, no, what are you talking about? Whatever. Oh, my 5-year-old son always watches him, whatever. I was like, oh, that's fire, whatever. Saw the puppet. We thought he just wanted to talk, so we weren't, thinking much of it. So my boy Ethan, Kevin, Marcelo were there. And he goes, look at this video. He goes, it was like the first 30 seconds. He was like, hi, daddy. He was like, tell me something about this, whatever. And it gets to a point where he's like, fuck you, daddy. He's like this. I was like, what the? So your 5-year-old son? He's like, yeah, he loves this stuff. I was like, what the? And from there, I was hooked, bro. But I stopped watching it when I was like a freshman. But that was my go-to like thing to watch with my boys because, bro, that was so funny, bro.
I stopped watching it also in high school, but I watched it all throughout.
That was so funny,
literally
bro.
like part of my childhood.
They're still killing it, bro. They're still killing it.
He's
making a crap ton of money, bro.
He sends his wife and all that.
He should start a crypto.
He should start crypto.
Yeah.
He still gets like 15 million views on YouTube.
He makes a bunch of money. Yeah.
A lot of I was telling you, he sends his wife to one of our doctors here.
Mm-hmm.
Like every week he goes.
He's local?
He's local.
No way.
He's in Florida.
No way. That's crazy.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yep. But yeah, no. That's like one of the bigger guys. But again, like something like that, I wouldn't have in a million years.
Yeah, bro. It'll come, bro.
See that opportunity to come, just as like your friend Cam, or like any of the other people.
100%. It'll come.
Okay. Bueno. I'm gonna say a few things, real quick because we are
sure.
at
Go
the time.
Go ahead.
If you haven't already, I've started a GoFundMe for the two organizations I stated before, Help Peru and Ronald McDonald House Charities. There are 2 amazing organizations that I've worked with. Please go check it out. Link in the description. His Instagram, his information will be in the description. Jacob, thank you so much for coming again. I appreciate you, bro. This was episode 12. No, this is 12? 13. This is 13. Episode 13. Thank you so much. Out.
Peace. Jacob. Brother, thank you, bro. It was fun. Man.
Thank you so much.